Don't you worry, don't you cry. I can promise it gets better in time. I spent like a long time trying to perfect my website, but I am a Christian business mentor and I do a little bit of like marketing and blogging on the side, helping other Christian entrepreneurs to develop and to sell their premium based services or their offers to their business. So that's pretty much what my business does, like in its entirety. Well, I've been blogging for about 6 years, and then I decided to switch over because a lot of the women that I were helping, they were asking, how did you start selling online courses? Because that was what I was doing in 2018, was selling online courses. And a lot of the women, they were saying that they wanted to start to bring in more revenue into their blog outside of affiliate marketing and outside of doing like brand collaborations, because it's really, brand sponsorship posts, should I say. It takes a lot of effort to get that momentum going with both of those things. So I wanted to start selling courses, and then they were asking, how did I decide to do that? So that was kind of like the opening on how I decided to go into business and started teaching other Christian women how to take their blog and their business and start charging for that, how to create a course, an online program. And so it just like manifested into something a little bit bigger. Keep your shine. Hold my hand. Well, I feel as if when I first started out, I was going back and forth with who I want to serve. And I served a lot of women. I helped a lot of women before I niched down. And to be honest, I didn't really feel that strong connection. And with me, my faith is really strong within my life. And when I was helping other people, I was like including some faith aspects into my business, but it seemed as if it was really awkward and it was like thrown out there. And I didn't want to build a business where I felt as if I had to pretend or hide something that's really important to me. So I decided to transition into only help Christian entrepreneurs because the fact of I didn't want to pretend. And then also I saw that it was a lack of development within the Christian entrepreneurship world, is that a lot of Christian entrepreneurs that they do not know anything about investing into their gifts and developing it so that it can go to a different realm. So it was a lack of development within the niche that I went into. So a lot of the women that I coached, they all wanted to, thrive in their purpose and to create extra streams of revenue for their life and for their family, but they didn't know how to do that. So that's when I decided, I was like, okay, I'm probably onto something with niching down and helping these women to create wealth within their life. Don't you worry, don't you cry. I just like leaped out there. I was doing freelance for a while to kind of like get my name out there a little bit. So I was doing freelance for a while. And then the women that I was helping, because I was contracted to do social media management for their business. And so the women that contracted me, they said that they wanted to learn how to do what I'm doing just in a course format, because I think that they were transitioning from out of having a social media manager. So that was kind of like the idea for like behind why I created, because when I created in 2020, it was like right during the pandemic. And a lot of businesses, they weren't really bringing in, I created in 2018, should I say, but it didn't become really profitable until 2020 when it was a strong need for it. So in 2020, the women, they weren't really bringing in enough business resources to have me on full time. So one of the ladies I was working with, she wanted to know how to do exactly what I was doing, but just in a course format. So that's what I did. And I sold the course primarily to her. And then other people were asking me like, how did you do X, Y, and Z? And so I decided to sell that course. It was a Pinterest course, my first course that I published. And Pinterest is a very underrated platform for Black entrepreneurs. And so I decided, I was like, I'm just going to capitalize off of this and just get a lot of Black influencers, content creators, and tell them about Pinterest. And that was really the opening door for me when it came to stepping into the online sphere, was through Pinterest and selling online courses. Well, Pinterest will allow for you to have that organic ranking because it is affiliated with SEO. So it will allow for your business and your platforms to have that organic ranking outside of social media, authorities. So for me, that was really important, is to eventually think long-term marketing and not so much on social media marketing, but just like long-term, like eventually my business and what I'm doing, we're going to fade out and kind of pivot a little. So when I started to teach other entrepreneurs is that, hey, you want to focus not only on just short-term marketing, but you also want to focus on getting your blogs to be known on a search engine realm so that when people start to Google you, they can pull it up. And so that wasn't something that was like ever taught to them because they were always Instagram influencing. And so I capitalized off of that because I ended up getting like over 150,000 blog views to my website. So I was capitalizing, I was monetizing my Instagram. I was monetizing my website without using Instagram until 2021. So SEO marketing played a big impact on my business. And it was something that a lot of entrepreneurs wasn't capitalizing on. And that's really what a lot of people, they're so focused upon just social media. And I was like, you can make a killing off of this. And I'm like, I'm proof that you can do this if you just switch your focus and really focus upon that, because the shelf life for Instagram posts, Instagram reels is not really in comparison to social to SEO. So it was like we're constantly spinning our wheels trying to make something work. But I'm like, it's not going to work in the next 3 months. They're going to have a new feature, a new pivot, and your business is going to suffer. So why not keep something that's evergreen, And so, yeah.
Where can people find your Pinterest course?
So it is on my website, AundraWilliams.com/shop. And it's a Pinterest. It's a whole bunch of courses on there, but that should be like the first course that you'll see on that page. Yes. Yeah, I would definitely say that because as I said, like I was doing this from 2016, a little trying to get out there, but it was a lot of me trying to, I don't feel as if in my head people were standing still long enough to see it. It was a lot of movement. And so when the pandemic happened, it was just people just at home and they didn't have nothing to do. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to just step out there and to create something. And I didn't really know if it was going to take off or not. But I think what happens is that you saw a lot of entrepreneurs who went from 0 to 6 figures. And so that gave them hope that they can do the same thing. And so I will definitely say within 2020 that my business, it went from literally $14 and all the way up to like $70,000, which was a big thing for me because I never had more than $14 in sales. Thank you. It was like life changing. I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, cause so like I only have $14 for a very long time. And so I was like just throwing different things out there, seeing what will actually bite. And nothing was like biting until I started doing Pinterest. And then that was really the thing that kind of like catapult other things that really start to take place in my life. And so, yeah, like a $39 course really changed everything. Don't you worry, don't you cry. Well, my business, I decided to create a new business model that really teaches Christian entrepreneurs how to build a business that is really allowing for their values and their core values to really shine through. So one of the main things is, I have received a few, but one of the main things is that they were like, I do not have to pretend anymore in my business, because that's a big thing within an online space and really presenting yourself. So it was that I don't have to pretend anymore. I'm really confident in my voice and my gifts. And I know that there is an audience out there for me. And once they really start to really become concrete in who they are and within their voice, then they will be more confident to go out there and create a online course or a business, because they're not trying to constantly pretend to kind of advance. And that was one of the things that why I wanted to switch over to that, because it's for me, I was doing a lot of pretending. And so when I like create a course, I'm like, we're not going to pretend. I want you to be confident. And they started to be confident within their voice and what the Lord has placed within them. And then they're like now signing, 4-figure clients. One of my clients, she had like 7 speaking engagements within 7 months. So it was like every month she was having paid speaking engagements. And that wasn't a thing before. So it's a lot of confidence building, a lot of people getting the opportunity to get that exposure that they've been praying for, that they've been desiring. And now once they took the course and they learned how to become confident in their voice, it's like things started to like roll in for them in their business.
Don't you worry, don't you cry.
I would really say to be patient with the process. And even with the pandemic, it's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff shifting. And so just being patient with that whole process as you are learning, like as we are honestly relearning how to go back out into society and how to be normal again to some aspect, and to just being patient with that, because a lot of things have shifted, a lot of things have changed, a lot of how we do business is no longer the same anymore. And so especially if you are a seasoned entrepreneur where you were doing very traditional based marketing, everything has now switched over to digital based marketing, and you're trying to understand and trying to really figure out things. And I will say just to be patient with yourself as you are unlearning, relearning, pivoting, and making new adjustments within your business and how you are going to position your business within an online space and within person as well. So everything that I teach is really like my own testament of what I had to go through throughout this whole entrepreneurship journey. And really like, and the pandemic really allowed for me to like, Aundra, okay, trust yourself, trust the gifts that you have, and just go out there. And whenever the world was shut down, it was like, this is my opportunity to get in front of people that I would have never had the opportunity to get in front of. So I just like took it and I ran with it. And it's such a crazy thing that took place. It was a very devastating thing with the pandemic, but it was also a blessing in disguise for small business owners like me who have been invisible for the last like 5 years when it comes to business.
I can promise it gets better in time.
Well, I went into ministry, like a mentorship program with that. And then I went into another program where it teaches you how to really stand confident in your purpose and to really like build up your voice. And so those were the very first mentoring programs that I went into. And then that allowed for me to really hone my skill to become confident in my voice before I started to go out there. And then I went into 2 business programs to really learn the foundation of business and how to really get clients. Because when I first signed my Pinterest clients, I didn't have any business experience. I just like, this is the idea. I put it out there. I knew about marketing, just not social media. So it was a lot of me just like throwing things out there. So I wanted to understand how to do social media marketing and how to get my business seen in front of a lot more people. So I decided to invest into social media marketing and sitting under like some really amazing women who are like crushing it in the game, and to have them to like feed into my business, which was crazy. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. But that knowledge on top of the knowledge like I already had, it just allowed for me to create a space that I feel like haven't really been seen within an online atmosphere about teaching different things. And so, yeah, I took a lot of classes, a lot of mentoring spiritually and I guess you can say developmentally with business, just to understand how to do business and to really hone in on my voice.
It gets better in time.